You mentioned something at the start, which I picked up on, which I liked, and you call it your referral scheme or your referral program. Something that I haven't heard a lot about from the service accommodation world. I do speak about it to the Boostly Academy members and to my hospitality world, but could you just sort of expand on that a little bit, tell people a little bit more about how you work it and what have been the results that have mean you're getting a lot of repeat bookings?
This is one of the most important, one of the most productive, and then which has resulted in one of the biggest revenue schemes, I would say revenue income, is the referral scheme. And we trialed different ways of running a referral scheme, where we was giving Amazon cards or gift cards for different retail or whatever. But what we ultimately decided was to give a percentage booking or a cashback to the customer which has stayed. So what they do, if they've enjoyed their stay, they will recommend us to their friends, family, or anyone they know, and they will get a 8% return on the booking that they create. A successful booking they create, they get an 8% return. And this is something we implemented about 3 months ago, and it results of people, what it gives them interest in, gives them a reason, not just because of the experience that we're giving them, but there's a monetization of them bringing someone to us.
Welcome to Boost Hospitality Podcast. This is season 6, episode 10. My name is Mark Simpson. I'm the founder of Boostly. Now today I'm going to be speaking to Adam Rana. Adam, I was very, very fortunate to meet him a couple of months ago. Adam, if you could just take a few minutes just to introduce yourself, a little bit more about you, and just how you got into service accommodation and hospitality, please.
Thank you very much for having me, first of all. It's a pleasure to be on the podcast and with all your audiences that you got around the world. Just a bit about, you've done, I think, a good job to introduce me, but just a bit about me. So my name is Adam Rana, based in UK, Birmingham, in West Midlands. I originally got into hospitality about end of 2017. My main background, which got me led into this, was my interest in traveling, stayed around the world. I've traveled 35 countries, stayed in different hostels. Actually, that's what really got into. I wanted to start a hostel. So this is where I've got my idea, from traveling, really giving it back to other travelers in hospitality and customer service.
So talk to me very, very quickly about the different type of properties that you have in the Birmingham area.
So I had to strategize and split into different customer base. So I have, for example, we have an avatar of a contractor base or a family base or a business corporate people. So I have a split of property which attract different type of market, different type of consumers. So I have 3 houses which are based in just outskirts of Birmingham, which we attract a lot of long-term direct bookings, or rather repeat bookings in my case, from contractors and referrals. We run a referral scheme. So that's one avatar that I use to attract to a semi-detached house or a 3-bedroom house around the outskirts of the city. Then I have a property base, which one of them you stayed in, which are more, I say, on the luxurious side, on the upper end of the market, which attract the international.
So you've got quite a few different type of properties. I like how that you've nailed down your ideal guest. Looking back then over the first year, what was or what has been one of your favorite failures that you've made? So something that you've done which was an error that you've learned from, that you can maybe pass on to somebody else who may be where you were right back in 2018.
When I started, I had 2 properties a year back, and now we have a portfolio of around 15 which is managed and owned properties of SA service accommodation. So one of the biggest mistakes I think I made early on, which has not hurt me so much, but it has, and one of them was when there was guests who were asking for extras or extra items, extra things. So I can use an example of families coming from abroad asking for a traveling cot. That's just an example I give you. So they were asking for extras, and so this is something I never provided. I never thought of. Not having kids, I never thought of there would be people looking for a travel cot. And we used to say no. Well, I used to say no, and I said, "Oh, look, unfortunately, we don't provide that service," and that resulted in just the mindset of a guest, like, "Oh, this is not a healthy guest," even though we supplied everything else and we were happy on hand to help with everything. It was just that one little thing which was not advertised, but they wanted us to help them because they're not from this city, they're not from this country. So to summarize that, that was one of the biggest failures, which may have cost me some money and cost me some reviews. I would say some reviews well. But now because we offer that, it's not necessarily we make extra money. It's just that we provide the service and we keep the people happy and leave the choice in the customer's hand.
Could you just please just take a couple of minutes just explaining what you do in your other role for your other company, for the other job that you consult for, and how have you sort of cross-matched those skills and brought it into accommodation?
Use your other skills and transfer them into a business that you're passionate about. So, for example, for me, I work as a consultant, improving processes of our supplier base, putting in processes, improving our last customer experience, so that the end customer experience. So that is essentially what my background was, and to a limited extent, it is a little bit still. I know I'm focused on my business now, but the thing that I learned from there was working, systemizing, processes, having a process map, having a value stream mapping. This all comes from my corporate strategic world, which is transfer.
You mentioned something at the start, which I picked up on, which I liked, and you call it your referral scheme or your referral program. Something that I haven't heard a lot about from the service accommodation world. I do speak about it to the Boostly Academy members and to my hospitality world, but could you just sort of expand on that a little bit, tell people a little bit more about how you work it and what have been the results that have mean you're getting a lot of repeat bookings?
This is one of the most important, one of the most productive, and then which has resulted in one of the biggest revenue schemes, I would say revenue income. It's the referral scheme, and we trialed different ways of running a referral scheme where we was giving Amazon cards or gift cards for different retail or whatever. But what we ultimately decided was to give a percentage booking or a cashback to the customer, which has stayed. So what they do, if they've enjoyed their stay, they will recommend us to their friends, family, or anyone they know, and they will get a 8% return on the booking that they create. A successful booking they create, they get an 8% return. And this is something we implemented about 3 months ago, and it results of people, what it gives them interest in, gives them a reason, not just because of the experience that we're giving them, but there's a monetization of them bringing someone to us. So there was a lot of people literally referring their families. So yes, this is our process of giving them money back type of thing.
Really, really good idea, and it's good to see that it is working. And you know, I'm watching from the outside in. I love how you document your journey. What made you think that this was the right time to grow? Like, what is your feeling towards the future for you and the business in SA? And yeah, how excited are you in all of this?
I am really, really excited. And it has been one of my goals and part of vision now to fund this hospitality business in UK. It was to create a team. By creating a team, I think we can serve more people and help more people and make sure the customers are happier rather than just running a business with one person. So it's really important when you hire someone. When I hired someone, of course I'm excited, but it's creating the same values and the principles that has got me to this successful level, which I would call somewhat successful of a decent sized portfolio of a good customer feedback. We're running on a very good reviews from customers from different portals. To make sure we continue that, what I do is I have a set of values and principle and a mission statement. So I have a mission statement that I filter down to that one employee is an operations manager, runs my guest management, guest handling, issue management, essentially what on the ground day-to-day business he wants, and he's a customer facing person now. So he needs to have the same values. So this is very important for all the listeners out there. Make sure why you started your business is filtered down to this person. It's very easy to get lost hiring people and getting excited, but if you don't write those values down and stick them up in a bedroom that you're running it off, or a basement, that which we do, we have team meetings in a basement in the house. So yes, having set values, a vision, and making sure your top level employees are even filtered down to your day-to-day employees, which are doing the cleaning or the maintenance, understand what your vision is. I'm a firm believer that if they align with your vision and your goals, I think they will perform better and they will understand why you're doing something and why you want this standard.
Could